An awfully good way of trying to work out why you need something, or if you need something, is to consider whether you could get on without it. Imagine you're without something, could you get on without it? It works for people too, actually. Could I manage without this thing or person? And we're going to see whether we could manage and how well we could manage without any grammar at all. This is where the session gets rather strange. Because I'm going to ask you to imagine yourselves at the very birth of language. But can we imagine that we're not sitting here in this room on a wet evening in February? We go back hundreds of thousands of years, and we are, I was going to say, a primitive tribe. We're not really a tribe of people because we haven't got language yet. We're a very advanced primate. So a very primitive tribe, but very intelligent primate. It's a warm afternoon. We've done all the hunting and gathering that we need to for a bit, and we're sitting on the grass in front of the cave in the sun, nothing much to do. And we're getting a bit tired of communicating with 3 or 4 different kinds of grunt. So we decide that we'd like to invent something a bit cleverer than that. And so we start out to invent language. And our first idea is that we're going to have much more complicated kinds of grunt. Let's call them words. And each of them stands for one of the things in our environment. So there we are on the grass in front of the cave, and we've got a word that means cave, a word that means that tree, 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 a word that means that stone, a word that means that axe. It won't work, will it? Because there are millions and millions of individual things in our environment, and we still won't have a word for a new one that we come across. If we want to talk about another tree that we haven't seen yet, we haven't got any way of doing it. So somebody in this group has a really brilliant idea. He has the idea of not having words for individual things, but having words for classes of things. So there's a word that means tree, one that means axe, one that means cave, one that means river, and so on. And we actually invent, first part of our afternoon, quite a lot of words. No grammar, just quite a lot of words. And what we're going to do now is to imagine ourselves in that situation and see what we can do with it. Here's 6 words in our new language. Get into pairs and decide who you're working with. In each pair, you are now 2 highly intelligent primitive creatures. In each pair, one of you, you've got names. One of you is called Ogo, the other is called Rap. Decide now who is Ogo, who is Rap. Everybody, how would you say in this language, look, there's a bear? Ross. Okay, Ross. There you are. Ogo, I want you to say to Rap, please, it's cold. Great accent, good. Rap, you don't care about Ogo being cold. Rap, say to Ogo, I'm hungry. Yam. Good. Ogo. Well, all right, this is nothing. This isn't really using language, but we have actually managed, with this pathetic little bit of vocabulary and no grammar, we've managed to do 2 things. We have drawn attention to the existence of things in our environment, and we've drawn attention to needs. We've said we want an axe, and we've said there's a bear. But we can do better than that. Here's some more. Ogo, please say to Rap, there's a bear cub. Wawa Ross or Ross Wawa? Okay. Baby bear. Rap, say to Ogo, would you be so kind as to pass my big axe? Elflin or Flynn L? Okay. Elflin or Flynn L? Ogo, this is getting challenging. I want you to say to Rap, the red hat belongs to the chief. The red hat belongs to the chief. Cara dang sunar, any of the 6 combinations of those 3 words. The order doesn't matter. Of course, we're depending a lot on context, aren't we? Red hat belongs to the chief, but in our particular society, chiefs aren't red, so there's no possibility of misunderstanding, really. Rap, I want you to disagree with that, contradict or go, and say, the red hat belongs to the chief's sister. Go. Karadang sunar sib, or any other combination of those words. Context is crucial, but we know common sense is too. We know that hats don't have sisters, and so on. And even in our kind of very sophisticated grown-up language, an enormous amount of meaning in any exchange is contributed by context and world knowledge. We don't really express more than we need to with words. Now, we've done something more interesting with this little baby language. The interesting thing that we've done is to combine words to pin down individual members of classes. Remember, the words are names of classes. Hat is the name of an enormous class of things, so is chief, so is sister, and so on. But with this trick, putting words together, we're able to narrow down what's being talked about to, if we want to, just one thing. Suppose my wife's going upstairs, and I say, look, dear, while you're up there, could you bring down my old yellow sweater? My old yellow sweater are the names of 4 enormous classes of things in our world. Put together, in that context, they intersect in one place, one single item. Like those Venn diagrams you learnt about in geometry all those years ago. It's the fundamental trick in language. It's quite astonishing and enables us to use category words to talk about individuals or small groups of things. It's brilliant, and we never think what a clever thing we're doing when we use language. Can we go further? Last exercise for the moment. I'll go, say to Rap, loud and clear, the baby's fallen down. The baby's fallen down. Wabba wong or wong wabba. Beautiful. Rap, you don't care, it's not your baby. Rap, say to Oggo, the rain's cold. Flot, burr, burr, flot. Okay? Well, you're brilliant at this. I can see that the future of human language is in safe hands.